Goose, 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 goose. Goose, 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 goose.
And we're back.
I think we really shouldn't do this review. I think this review of the Blackening will just... I don't know what it's going to look like in a few years. That's all I'm saying.
Can we do like a little joke exchange?
I'm not prepared, but yeah, go for it.
Can you? Okay, I will tell you what I think your favorite joke was in this movie, and then you.
Okay.
If you think you know, you can tell me the same.
It's got dick in it.
The specific word dick in it.
It's got the word dick in it. Yeah, go for it.
No, okay. So my best guess for you. Is this Blade's house? Where's Wesley?
Oh no. That's a good one though.
It's not okay.
No. My favorite joke was the gayness is whiteness wrapped in a bunch of dicks.
Okay. Yeah. What's your guess for my favorite?
Let's see. So this is the one where King is talking to Namdi. I guess they were friends in college or something like that, or they've been friends for a while.
Right.
But King ends up marrying a Caucasian woman, and then Namdi keeps giving him shit about it, and he's just like, yeah, you know, your wife, and yeah, she's just like this something bitch. And then King goes, hey, wait a minute, just call my wife a bitch? And he's like, oh, you know, I mean, like bitch in like the colloquial sense. Hey, bitch, you gonna finish that quesadilla?
Close second.
King was like, he's like, nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You can call my wife a bitch.
Still not any good. It's I don't even remember exactly, but one person gets hit by a crossbow bolt.
Yep.
And another one goes, "You're just like King Arthur." Tim Story's The Blackening. Do you want to go first? Just overall impressions, or do you want me to?
Overall impressions?
Yeah.
I mean, what am I going to say? It's a great movie. It's very funny. I noticed how tropey it is. I don't think it deters from the movie itself. I think it's fine because it is, you know, it's more of a comedy than a horror film.
Right. What would you call sort of like what would you call the percent balance? Would you say this is kind of, would you say it's a 50-50? I mean, like Scary Movie and Scream are the real kind of touchstones. Would we say it's like a 50-50 split, like a 60-40 split?
Say it's maybe like a 70-30.
Yeah.
And the reason I say this is because there are, you know, you're probably gonna describe what the movie's about in a second, but again, they have multiple people trying to kill this, you know, group of friends. And even when people do get killed, it's kind of like
it's pretty low. It's
Pharaoh's
it's almost
murder
exclusively off screen. It's kind of pretty low consequence.
There's one kill that you're like, oh, that's brutal. But other than that, it's just like people getting killed off screen, being thrown in a well, or people being shot with a crossbow.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like they're really hurt that bad. They just kind of like shrug it off.
Right.
I think
there's a lot of shoulder injury, which
a lot. You get it's
the reality that you hit a vein, you bleed out in about 3 minutes. But
it's always a shoulder, an arm, or like a thigh or something.
Right. Yeah. This man, the ladies and gentlemen, don't know what to say. This movie was fucking great. It was entertaining. It was just the performances. It's a pretty big ensemble cast. You know, there's kind of a core 7 members to the to like the cast of the film itself, with kind of Dietrich Bader kind of coming in, like it's sort of here and there, but it's largely there's just this trip of people. And man, I will tell you, there is not there's not a weak link like in the entire like entourage.
I loved all the characters. And it's one of those movies where, you know, I wasn't like, okay, who's that person again? What's that person's name?
Right.
how do they fit into
They're
this
all
group?
distinctive. They're all so immediately
Yeah.
distinctive when you come.
Yep.
Right.
Well, I was going to ask you this, but which was your favorite character?
Yeah, Christ, let me see.
Was it Joey or was it Chandler or?
You see, I didn't even watch this movie. Honestly, I just kind of watch reruns of like a living single.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I have to say Dwayne. I have to say Dwayne.
Dwayne, yeah.
He's just, I mean, but just we have
He's
to
so
emphasize
good. He's so funny.
Not only is the joke writing superb, everything is happening a mile a minute.
Yeah.
But in addition, like the jokes itself, the physical comedy, the acting, the emotionality, everything that these characters, that these actors are kind of putting into these things. And what's remarkable is like the two most famous, other than Dietrich Bader, people in the movie are it plays into the stereotype of like, oh, like the most famous characters, the Drew Barrymore in Scream or the Janet Leigh's from Psycho. It's they kill off the two most famous people in the first 5 minutes is kind of a fake out. The two most famous people in this film are Jay Pharoah and Yvonne Orji.
Yeah.
Which
are they introduce in like the first
right,
5 minutes?
Right. Yeah. They comment on, oh, the two famous black people from the second Scream, they died immediately. Look up at the camera as that actually happens. And then are just kind of killed off just moments later.
That was so on the nose, but it was funny. It was good.
Yeah. So the basic premise of this film, this is a group of black friends who on Juneteenth kind of go up to a cabin in the woods to sort of celebrate the 10-year anniversary of a get together that they had in college. A seventh friend kind of unexpectedly shows up and kind of joins in the festivities. As night falls, they're partying, they're kind of exploring the house. They find a very racist board game in the basement.
Do you remember what they called it?
What was it? The Jim Crow ass Monopoly. And they end up getting trapped in the basement and sort of tortured by this one unseen assailant who sort of forces them to answer kind of like obscure questions about kind of just black culture and history and trivia and everything else. And the whole thing, it sort of spirals out into just kind of like a slasher film, but the whole thing is kind of done in this kind of madcap sort of farcical kind of way where the characters do this meta thing I deeply love of being aware that they're trapped, that they are black people trapped in a horror movie, being aware of all the cliches, being like aware of all like the standard story beats that happens in these things, but being so freaked out by the entire experience that none of that information is actually just kind of used like effect. So like the whole big thing, the whole movie turns into like sort of a big chase scene and like the multiple killers trying to hunt them down.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, something else I noticed about this film too is nobody really died except for the killers.
Yeah. Yeah.
The 6 original friends that got together, they all walk away.
All 6 make it to like the end of the movie.
Yeah, with like minor injuries.
Yeah. This is the this film has on its poster one of the best, I think, kind of taglines that you'll ever see for a movie, because it immediately explains what it is, just kind of like right off the beat. The tagline, it's a photo of the 7 friends kind of in the cabin with like in just kind of like big red font above, "We can't all die first."
Yeah.
Can't all die first. You get into that. And it's a it's a movie that sort of makes jokes about horror movies. It's a movie that sort of makes a lot of jokes about kind of like the stereotypes and like the way that kind of black people sort of kind of characterizing these things. It's a movie with just kind of like just tons and tons of just kind of inside jokes about sort of kind of just culture and identity. It has, I think. Let's kind of talk like through like the kind of like the more kind of shallow surface level stuff first. Like was sure. Before we kind of get into the kind of maybe there's a little bit of a more thematically deep thing I want to discuss with you about this. But okay. Boy, is there anything about this movie that didn't work for you? Was there any reason people may find it like a little underwhelming?
I mean, maybe for some people it could be the things that the thing that we liked, how it's like I did not feel that it was like a missed opportunity or kind of like I was robbed by none of the main characters being killed off. I love the characters, and so I mean, if they did kill one of them off, I don't know if I was asked to like
everyone is so good that you don't want to really see anybody go.
Which do you think is like the weakest? Which do you think should be killed off? Because they are posed that question on one point in this film,
right? And
they pick the one that I would have picked, which is Clifton, because I was like, I could tell right away something's off with him. The actor who does like. He's kind of
Jermaine Fowler, a very
plays it up a little. He makes you kind of right away suspect. So he's sus.
Right. He's
very sus. So something I knew he was going to be involved to some degree. I'm like, okay, he's going to be involved somehow. But I think maybe people that are going into this might be expecting more people being killed off, or to be like a true horror movie where it's like a last girl thing. Maybe Lisa survives or Allison survives.
The standard structures of these things is kind of like the midpoint. One person will die very early in the first half of the movie. Mm-hmm. Someone else will be killed in front of everybody else in the midpoint. And then there's in the second half of the movie, there's usually like a whittling down until it's just like one or two people. That would be the expected structure. This is kind of gone. As the usual horror movie goes.
There's also a lot of moments where it's like people just you know those scenes where they show like the killer goes and shoots the crossbow and it whizzes by somebody's head and they turn in, there's like a close in like they zoom in of the person just turning to see it whiz by their head, or like a knife being shoved up through like a ceiling and somebody's hiding up in like the vent or whatever, and it's like, oh, it's a narrow miss. There is a lot of those too, which I think helps the movie.
They kind of go back to that well a lot.
Yeah, they do. They really do. I mean, you have to. These people, they're not trained professionals that can handle like killers. The killers are kind of like lunky.
This is not like a first blood situation or somebody who knows how to surf.
Yeah. So I think on both ends, maybe it's just kind of like it's messy. But I could see people being annoyed by that. Maybe it's too tropey. Maybe there's too many of those things that you see. Like they introduce a scene where it's kind of like they show their friend Morgan on the TV, and it's like, do you want to play a game? And it's turning into like a Saw.
You think it's going to be like a Saw thing because she's attached to some kind of device, and then ultimately, the only thing that happens with the device is it rips her wig off.
Yeah, it was great. It was so funny. They're like, I wrote it down. I can't find it now, but
that's
they're like
some good ass wig glue, I think.
Yeah. That's some good ass.
Right.
Yeah, as a wig glue.
Yeah, I mean, like that's. I mean,
what do you think?
You're going in maybe kind of 20-30% kind of horror sort of tops for like this kind of thing, but it's like the film is parody. It's a farce. It's everybody kind of running around kind of screaming at the end of the day, and like that element didn't bother me. I wanted to kind of talk to you quickly about so I think we both can unequivocally recommend this as a comedy, as just it's a really fun, modern, well-made.
I just want to say too, it's like a well-made version of like Scary Movie is spoofing a lot of things, and it's very obvious about what it's doing.
It's very big and very loud. Yeah. And just a couple reviews I read of this movie actually suggested this kind of supplants Scary Movie like a little bit as the best of this kind of thing.
It's very good at it. There's so many things you can see being called out in this, but you don't focus on them too much because you're more focused on this movie and you're accepting it as something, unique or original. Right. Which it's hard to do for these types of films.
Sure. It's hard to do for these kind of films in individual moments. And like the fact that it's just again, this movie from the drop starts with Jay Farrow doing the Blades House line. And it somehow builds and possibly ends on maybe its funniest joke for me.
Yeah.
It's one of these things that's so packed with just funny and like an original shit,
Yeah.
So I think there's kind of no question we recommend it on this level. what I wanted to talk to you about, like a little bit, was kind of my read. So I on its surface just had like a great time with this movie, but the movie actually became maybe like a little bit more interesting to me when I kind of sat with it for a little bit. I just kind of want to get your 2 cents on it.
Okay.
So let me kind of run this down real quick. I don't really think that this is so much a movie. I mean, obviously, this is a movie by sort of Black performers and Black creators, and is rooted in a very specific kind of cultural identity. But I kind of think like the bigger theme, like the bigger message of the movie, it's kind of saying like a more, it's understated, but I think it's saying a more universal thing, maybe about social status, belonging, and bullying, and how bullying and can sort of kind of fuck with that like a little bit. So spoilers for the Blackening for kind of like at this point out. You've got this kind of core group of 6 friends, and let's just kind of set the stage for people who haven't seen it. All 6 of these people are stylish, funny, extroverted. Like these are unquestionably the cool kids. There's no argument for that. These were kind of high status kids in high school, that these were kind of high status people in college, that these are high status people now. And the 7th Fred, this dude Clifton, who was misidentified as Carlton in his first scene in the movie, kind of comes in, and he's kind of nerdy, and he's not dressed particularly well. He's a little bit off. He's a little bit weird, not drastically, but it's shit like he has an Android phone, and like when he asks people, do you have an Android charger? And people are like, no, we don't do that shit here. Yeah. Or just kind of like other kind of stuff like that. He's I mean, he's not one of these cool kids. So it's a very common horror trope that any 1,000 or so horror movies have kind of dipped in this idea of, like, the cool kids are sort of tormented for something, or are disproportionately tormented for something, for some kind of way that they tortured like an uncool low status kid back in the day. And that's absolutely the case with Clifton. He's revealed to be like the big like the killer, like the big villain by the end, right? But what kind of made the movie kind of even more interesting to me is, he goes up, and there's the reveal at the end. They're like, oh shit, it was Clifton this whole time. He goes, do you remember the party 10 years ago? Do you remember what happened? And everybody's like, no. And he was like, I was at that party too. I was trying to play spades with you guys. And then he goes like, I'm good at games. I really love games. I'm good at games. I remember the rules. I grew up in fucking Vermont. I don't know how to play spades. Okay. So 10 years ago, we were playing spades together. I fucked up a rule, and you people just kept giving me shit about it. Like, and he pointed to, I think the character that Grace Byers plays, and he's just like, you told me my black card was revoked. Yeah. You said just like the worst shit to me. It was really traumatizing. It was really upsetting. And then and here's what happened next. I got really fucked up by that. I got drunk for the first time in my life. I was pissed at you guys. I got in my car, drove off, accidentally struck a woman in a pedestrian crossing, killed a nurse, caught a manslaughter charge, and spent 4 years in prison. None of you had any fucking idea.
I just have to drop the line that Namdi says. He goes, 4 years. Like,
that's like
4 years for manslaughter. That's grad school.
The thing this movie made me think about was like that is just through the lens of that's really fucking interesting, because that sort of got me thinking of college. Yeah. And thinking about sort of like, just like, kind of like the more extended friendship groups that we all had that kind of disappeared out of our lives. And just like there's a thing with these kind of cliques about kids that think they're like a little bit cooler than everybody else. And it's something that they all have in common. It's some group identity that they cling to, right? You and I probably both know the specific things we're referring to in our college experiences. Like they don't need to be invoked here. But what is depicted in this movie is I think the director doesn't want you to have a ton of sympathy for like the core group of 6 friends. I think that the director is like, these people, just you take away the performances, you take away the jokes and the comedy, everything else. These people kind of suck at the end of the day.
And that's the thing that I just want to point out too, that the director makes pretty obvious. Even Clifton mentions this. They haven't changed at all in the 10 years. They have not changed one bit. There's still, Lisa and Namdi. They're still kind of off and on. Where
there's still that off and on, like that both of these people have, like, Namdi perpetually cheated. Lisa perpetually was just kind of coming back to him the entire time. Yeah,
each of them is kind of flawed in their own way.
Right.
But Clifton also points out there's one scene in the film as well where the killer says, "Okay, you have to pick one of you," and this is another big theme as well.
Right.
To be considered cool is to be considered, I guess, black.
Right.
And so the killer says, "You need to pick which of one of you is the blackest and send them out."
Yeah.
And that means they're going to be killed. And so they end up picking Clifton.
Oh, it's whoever is the least black.
No. It was the blackest.
Okay.
It was the blackest. That's Okay. So they were fine. They're like, Namdi, you're from Africa. Clearly, you're the blackest. But each of them, they came up with a reason for it. But they got to Clifton, and they had nothing.
And they're just like, fuck him.
They had nothing to say. And then he's like, they're like, what makes you black? And then he says probably as many like things you would assume like a MAGA white
it's
from
Vermont.
Vermont.
A lot of, I don't mind Ouija boards. I voted for Trump twice.
Yeah.
All lives matter. He just comes up like all this. Yeah.
All that. Yeah. He does that all lives matter joke.
Right.
And so of course he gets sent out and he gets shot with a crossbow and they're all like, oh my God.
He gets dropped out. It's like it turns out later it's a stage thing because he knew exactly what happened.
Exactly. But in the end, when he's sitting there and it's revealed he's the killer. He has the gun and he's threatening each of them and telling them this whole story about what happened where he hit a girl. He says he's like, I thought you guys had changed, but when given the decision,
right,
you all are just so shallow that you picked me to get killed, knowing that I would be shot.
It's the thing, like this movie establishes people not as just immature, but as cowardly in every opportunity. Not just Clifton. Like before Clifton, they immediately all turn on each other. There's kind of multiple times where they just kind of leave each other behind when they're kind of being kind of like chased through the woods. They agree. The 6 of them agree to split up, despite the fact it's a really kind of terrible idea to split up. On top of the fact, it's just, think about being in your 30s. I have enough college memories, specifically of kind of with a couple different groups of people, going out to Cape Cod for the weekend, and then just coming back, going over that big ass bridge, which is like the worst hangover you've ever had in your life.
Yeah,
these people in their 30s, they go out. What's the first thing that they're doing? They're knocking down Kool-Aid and vodka. They're taking Percocets. They're taking Molly, which is actually just ecstasy, as it actually turns out. Like the first thing they do is just get drunk, get pilled up, start having sex, and just start. And the through line throughout all that is everybody's kind of telling each other, I've matured, I've changed, I've kind of grown up. King is like another one of like, I used to be like a gangbanger back in the day, but it's just no more guns, no more violence. The second like a killer shows up, the first thing he does is pull a 45 out of his duffel.
Yep. Now I'm just like, I knew you had a gun. I knew you were packing.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to kind of think about the image of this film and just what's kind of saying more than anything else. And Tim Story in interviews has said, there was a little bit of conversation in the first half of this. Should we even be covering something like that? Tim Story said, my primary thing making movies is I want to entertain myself and my close friends. He's like, after that, I'm happy if anybody watches my movie. People watch my movie and see. I think this is kind of quoting from like a podcast. Like they were discussing this thing. But he was like, people see this movie and they see their own culture. Great. People outside of my culture see this movie and can draw connections to something that they knew about from whatever they kind of came up with. Yeah, that's also fantastic right there. Like I'm not just making these films for kind of one audience.
Yeah. So I guess what the point you're trying to make is maybe if you hadn't been invited to that Juneteenth party, you would have been the Clifton? I'm really good at board games, guys. Whatever you got for me, Ticket to Ride, Splendor, Carcassonne, I've got it down. And they're like, let's play spades. And you're like, spades? What is that? Is that like gin rummy?
It's a trick-taking game that's really, really easy to
you actually know how to play spades?
I know how to play spades because you know, just at undergrad at college, the office I worked for 2 years, where we had a lot of downtime. There was a lot. I had like a lot of black coworkers that taught me to play spades.
Really?
Legit.
You're being serious.
It's a very, it's a little bit, it's a lot more about like kind of like the social elements of it than the game itself. It's a bog standard trick-taking game that got really, really popular in like World War II. The idea is you're playing in teams, and I think the kind of the cultural draw of it, it's kind of similar in my family to playing cribbage.
Yeah,
it's just it's the socializing, like the back and forth, more than like the actual and anything kind of like about like the game itself.
Interesting. I had a couple friends of mine. They had a party where they invited just like, it was maybe like 50, 60 people over, and what they did is again, this is just a party to have fun. It's somebody's birthday, I believe. Maybe a couple of people's birthdays. What they did is they set up all these different tables in their backyard, and they had all lawn games that you could play. But at each of the tables too, they had decks of cards.
Okay.
And then they had like a table, kind of if you go to like
there's like a poker table or like a blackjack.
No, it's just like it's like a table just stacked with games that you can just pick up board games.
Okay, so you could like sit down,
to bring back to your table.
Sure.
I think they're trying to recreate. If you go to like breweries, sometimes these days they'll set up like these game nights where they'll have just stacks of games you can just pick up.
Like the brewery thing is there'll be a small bookshelf of kind of just playing cards and kind of board games.
And so I asked them, I said, why do you have like all these like fresh packs of cards at all the tables? It's like so people can just play card games or poker and stuff like that. Right. And they're like, oh no, so people can play spades.
Just so people can play.
And
spades.
I was like, what kind of party is that? I'm like, I didn't know how to react because I'm like, it's all white people. So I'm like, how do all these white people know how to play spades? But because the party's in Somerville and most of them grew up in Somerville, I guess it used to be something they played, even though they're white. They used to play this in high school. Yeah. That was like their thing, just hang out, people playing spades and stuff like that.
Right.
That was kind of their gateway into like.
Again, this is if you've learned any trick taking game, like this spades owned. I mean, it's kind of like if bridge is kind of up at like level 10, like spades is at 2 or 3 in complexity.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I probably would have been the Clifton.
Well, but so this is what I think like the movie's kind of trying to say. It's just you picture and again, I like how understated this is, but I like how interesting this is when you kind of put in your mind. It's think about a bunch of 22-year-olds, they're at a party. The one nerdy sort of low status guy is kind of there, and he doesn't even fuck up. He doesn't know how to specifically play a game that you're supposed to play.
Yeah,
and he's already unpopular, not because of just like the game itself, but it's just that he's a little weird and he's kind of funny looking, and he's not somebody who wants to kind of be at the party. So like the sin of like the friends there, like the thing they're kind of being sort of punished for in middle age is just not only do they really kind of fuck with him for kind of not knowing spades, but they kind of tell him, you're not even a good representation of your race.
Sure,
you're not even. It's just in his point completely recently is just like, I just didn't learn this kind of game growing up. But but you think about kind of what like those kind of people did at this, and when they were college age, they completely fucked with this one kind of weird lonely guy at this get together they were having. They watched him get super drunk. They must have known that he never kind of drank at all. They watched him get into a car and like all pissed off and drive off. And they had so little follow through on what happened to him the next day, the next week, or whatever else that none of them 10 years later realized he had spent 4 goddamn years in prison.
Yeah, I think too. It's like maybe they're not intentionally trying to like make him feel like a piece of shit or like picking unnecessarily. I think they're just.
But they're not showing any humanity at the same time.
They're caught up so much in their egos that they just don't even have time for him, because even the second time around when he's at the get together, he wasn't even intending to be there. Like I think
he's
said
misidentified as Carlton. Everybody just kind of sighs when they show up. They start giving him
somebody invited him,
dates.
or he's like, hey, I'm here for the get together, and Shanika got confused and she's like, okay, yeah, come with me.
Sure.
But even when she saw him at the convenience store, when she kind of bumped into him, she's like, who is this weird dude? But you notice the whole time that he's at the cabin with them, it's all focused on them, and he'll do these little quips here or there, and he's just present. But they really could give two shits about him. It's kind of like, oh yeah, that's right, he's here, but we don't know what he contributes to any of this.
And again, you think about, and these are people that are kind of stuck in how they were in their 20s. These are people that are kind of stuck where they were in their teens. I think it is I enjoyed this movie like the past, and kind of sitting with the last couple of days. I really appreciate the fact that it does sort of kind of get into an actual kind of horror narrative where like the people you're following have committed some kind of sin, but then are being kind of punished like disproportionately for it.
Sure.
The director, I think, he wants a couple different things. He doesn't want you to be like the corporate prevents. He doesn't want you to be on your side. He wants you to kind of realize they suck, but he also realizes that he wants you to realize that they don't deserve to die at the end of the movie, which everybody does.
Yeah, it's weird how we're talking about how shallow these people are, yet at the same time, it's like, I don't feel bad that they all survived. I don't think they learned a lesson. I don't think they're going to change it all. But just watching how they react to the whole situation, and by dumb luck they survive.
It's the best. So to wind down this conversation, it's maybe the best. Comedy comes in threes, and you will never see like a better example of that than at the end of this movie, right before the credits roll. Is they're all outside. By my count, 6 people, including 2 of their closest friends, who died in this film at this point. They're all outside, covered with blood. They're like, what do we do? Let's get high.
Yeah.
The first thing they do is smoke up, and they're there, and then it's like, okay, we're going to get shot if the police come. Let's call the fire department. Let's run for a little bit. It cuts back to Wayne is wearing a full lemon yellow leisure suit.
Yeah.
The rest of them are smoking and high. They turn to Wayne and they're like, what are you doing? It's like, there might be TV cameras. The news might come.
Yeah. They're like, when did you change?
And then the final, and maybe like the real thing that they ultimately deserve in this movie, the final post-credits scene, it cuts back to them like, again, oh, cool. The fire department is there. And they all get blasted with a fucking high power.
Yeah. Yeah. That was awesome. I love that. I wrote down in my notes ending. They're like, somebody says, hey, what should we do now? Should we call the cops? And then they're just all laughing.
Oh man, good. We were talking on the Quiet Place Day 1 conversation, like how hard it is to end a horror movie. This is another example of one that was fun the entire time, and then I think kind of did it superbly.
It's just like a perfect note to end on.
Score 0 to 50. Where do you give him this one?
Oh man, I'm gonna give it a high score.
Okay.
And it's tough because it is more comedy than horror. That's why I'm like, I feel like I should give it a lower score, but I'm gonna give it a 46.
46. Very nice.
I will say this: there was so much racist humor in this, maybe not even intended for me, and I was laughing with everybody else.
Yeah.
It was just
again.
So well
if we take the directors, the podcast I listen to, shout out Higher Learning, they had Melvin Gregg, who actually played King on the in the movie, with like a very long, very interesting conversation about this film, and they asked him, and they were like, one of the hosts just like, a thing I don't love sometimes is kind of going to movies and you see like a joke that's meant kind of just for black people, and you hear like one white person laughing, but they're laughing just like a little bit too loud.
Yeah.
Just if you're going to take like the word the people involved in this thing at face value, Melvin was just like, this movie premiered at the Toronto Film Fest, mostly like like an older white crowd. Yep. Everybody was laughing their ass off the entire time, and it was just one of the best feelings. As a performer, it was just like one of like the best feelings ever. And
you saw me. There was that one moment where they made the joke about Allison and the painting of the zebra, and I was taking notes. I don't know if it should repeat it here, but it's like I'm sitting there taking notes, and then I'm like half listening because I'm like, I got to get this thought down. Right. And then when the joke caught up with me and I looked over at the painting, the zebra,
we kind of made eye contact with like the video chat at that point.
I lost it. It was so funny. So I'm like, what's that about? You know, those moments where they say, "Hey, that kind of looks like your mom" or something, and you're like, "Oh," and it's a picture of like a donkey's ass or something. I don't know, but it was the zebra. And watch the movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And full context, this woman, kind of Grace Byers. I think her only kind of real major kind of credit was she was like second build on Empire for like a long time.
I saw that. Yeah. I was trying to figure out what she's in. She's great.
They're great. Not just hysterical. One of just like the most beautiful women, just like the whole time. Like just Jesus.
I love the fact that she got slipped Adderall.
Right.
And then she just went into like combat mode and just beat it out of
kind of turned first blood for her at one point.
Yeah, that was great. I like that. She had a Rosa Parks t-shirt.
She was wearing a Rosa Parks sweater. One of the other friends.
Get your shit together.
Wait, you got to go after would Rosa Parks be sitting down right now? And she's like, that was kind of what she did.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie is a very, very solid 40 for me.
Okay.
I think it's just this is on kind of like the more sort of like this actually kind of made it into my love tier. This is a film that was so much fun to kind of just go through. Myself has only kind of grown on me the last couple of days. I feel like if I had seen this in a theater or even watched this with friends, it would even be like a higher score for me. But I think it's both of us really enjoyed it a lot.
The reason I give it a 46 as well, and this is I think that's the highest ranking I've given any of the movies we've seen so far.
Just say white guilt. Just say it.
My white privilege allowed me to again, watching it with you and just experiencing this movie was just a joy. So
so this currently sits second place, just 2 points behind Mouth of Madness so far.
Wow. Mouth of Madness deserves, by the way.
Deserves
to be at the top.
So no questions here. Still in last place. You want to take a guess?
Boner Lake.
Cool, buddy. This was a fun one. Glad we were able to watch it, and glad we were able to
struck gold, my friend.
Struck gold with that one. Yeah.